Welcome to Slow News Day Live. My name's Steve Poikinen. Fuck YouTube. I'm here in beautiful Boulder Creek, California. You know about Boulder Creek. Our state flag's the flannel shirt. Our state bird's the pit bull. Our state flower is cannabis. I am fucking pissed off right now. I don't know what to do about how hard YouTube is fucking us as content creators. I am pissed beyond all fucking reason. They spent like 15 minutes setting up a goddamn live stream only to have it hamster wheel indefinitely. This is bullshit. Piles and piles of bullshit. At any rate, the stream seems to be working now. Welcome. Thank you for hanging out. Good to see you. I'm a couple of days later than I would have liked to have been. Let's talk about what the fuck is going on. Lady Arbuthnot, one of the head judge in Julian Assange's case, has now stepped down due to massive conflict. I'm going to go ahead and quote the Consortium News article. Those good folks, Joe Loria and friend of the show, Elizabeth Voss. Actually, I guess both friends of shows that I host. Joe Loria has been on a free Assange vigil, and Elizabeth Voss, of course, repeat guest on this show. They should be discussing this in great detail tonight. They, of course, will have Julian Assange's lawyer, Jen Robinson, on. It should be fascinating. I know that I'm going to be there for that. I hope you are too. To quote Jen Robinson, again, Julian Assange's lawyer, yes, there was some controversy about her sitting on the case. She won't be sitting on the case going forward. She's not sure who will take over for Lady Arbuthnot. I can only assume it will be an actual real live kangaroo. On Thursday, Matt Kennard and Mark Curtis of the Daily Maverick reported Lady Arbuthnot has been recently appointed a district judge to rule the extradition case, but remains the supervising legal figure in the process. According to UK Court Service, the chief magistrate is responsible for supporting and guiding district judge colleagues. The report has said that Arbuthnot's husband, Lord Arbuthnot of Edrom, God, it just sounds so fucking pompous, doesn't it? A former British defense minister, has financial links to the British military establishment, including institutions and individuals exposed by WikiLeaks. It is said the judge herself has also received gifts, including from a military and cybersecurity company exposed by WikiLeaks. The Daily Maverick reported further on Friday, the Lady Emma Arbuthnot, the Westminster Chief Magistrate overseeing the extradition proceedings of Julian Assange, is the Vice President and Cybersecurity Advisor Q and MI5, which seeks to stop data leaks. It can be revealed. Alexander Arbuthnot, again, this is the judge's son, his employer, the private equity firm Vitruvian Partners, has a multi-million-pound investment in Darktrace, a cybersecurity company which is also staffed by officials recruited directly from the U.S. National Security Agency and the CIA. These intelligence agencies are behind the U.S. government's prosecution and persecution of Julian Assange for publishing secret documents. Darktrace has also had access to two former UK prime ministers and former U.S. President Barack Obama. On a little bit to the end here, as far as is known, Lady Arbuthnot has failed to disclose any potential conflicts of interest in her role overseeing Assange's case. However, UK legal guidance states that any conflict of interest in a litigious situation must be declared. Yeah, I am immensely glad that this woman has been removed, though through no honesty or love with the national security state of the U.S. allowing State Department officials to dictate the course of the hearing on October 21st that we've covered extensively on the Free Assange Vigil series that I have covered here. Gone on Jason Burmis to talk about it. Consortium News Against done fantastic reporting. But that's about fucking it. And that leads me to what I wanted to talk about when I first tried to do this live stream that YouTube would not let me proceed with. I pick on some people in left media from time to time. I have called these people out by name, and I have referred to them as cable news on the internet guy. I think you know who I'm talking about there. He just announced that he'll be running for fucking Congress now, as if taking people's money, selling them fucking barely passably progressive propaganda wasn't good enough. Let's just all take a moment to say fuck Cenk Uygur. If I could see a little bit of that in the chat, I would be happy. Liam, is this really good news though? I'm very skeptical that they're going to put an unbiased judge on Julian's case. Of course there will not be an unbiased judge on Julian's case. That is, it's preposterous, but it shows what a little bit of research can do to clear the room and fucking put some pressure on these people once you expose them to step out of the way. I don't know who they'll be replacing her with. I can only hope it will be someone a little bit less entrenched, a little bit less connected to the organizations and establishments that WikiLeaks has exposed over the years. Sucks to lay it on a hope. It really does. I've talked a little bit about left or progressive or independent media's self-censorship, their failure to see the forest for the trees, as it were, when it comes to covering Julian Assange accurately. There are still people running around calling themselves independent media or progressive media who use the words rape charges when discussing Julian Assange. We know that Julian Assange was never accused of rape. We know that Julian Assange was never actually accused by people. He was accused by the Swedish police, who, or not even accused, but investigated by the Swedish police, who tried to round up witnesses. The only piece of evidence that they have ever brought forward was a condom that had no DNA on it. I don't know how the fuck you're supposed to prosecute somebody with DNA evidence if there's no fucking DNA evidence on the goddamn thing that you're using to prosecute them with. But specifically, Tim Black has shut down my co-hosts on the Free Assange Vigil from even bringing up Julian Assange in their chats, in their on their Patreon. Tim Black straight the fuck up said, you guys need to lose my number. I don't want to talk about this. I don't want to do this. Oh, somebody disliking the stream. Well, fucking, hey, look, man, 13 people watching. I see 3 people have clicked the like button. Let's fucking alter that ratio, guys. As we head towards December 10th and YouTube straight up saying anyone who isn't commercially viable won't be on the platform anymore, let's go ahead and give these guys our own goddamn middle finger, okay? For Tim Black to engage in this kind of self-censorship, this blatant censorship of his own audience, going as far as to refund money to a patron just so he won't fucking say, why don't you talk about Julian Assange on your show? It illustrates how pervasive monetized thought has become. once we monetize thought and we put it out on these platforms and we allowed these platforms to dictate and allocate who got paid and how, that created a mental barrier in terms of what people will say and how they will say it. Jamarl Thomas had to be bullied into allowing someone to come onto his show to talk about Julian Assange. And I don't mean like anybody held Jamarl down and fucking punched him or like threatened to give him a swirly or whatever, but he was really pushed in order to do it. He won't fucking talk to me anymore. But that's because I called out Kyle Kalinske on Jamarl's show. I am not going to sit here and tell you to unsub from people. I'm not going to sit here and tell you to fucking stop giving them Patreon money. I'm not going to do any of that. That's up to you. I just want you to go forward being informed. We already talked a little bit about cable news on the internet guy and how I tweeted about this, man. After 3 years of declining subscriber numbers, after 3 years of people just trashing his organization left and right, and having, people who are also in progressive or independent media, whether you want to put quotes around that or not, kicking around the Young Turks in general. For him to look at the money that he's losing versus the money that he could be making as a politician, it stands to reason that someone who's only been in this for personal gratification, who's only been in this to raise their own profile so that they could become some sort of fucking influencer, makes perfect sense to go to politics after that. Makes absolute sense. When the grift of taking people's money for selling them fucking a half-truth to outright lies fails you, politics is a perfect answer, because people will give you goddamn money so that you'll take it from them and do nothing. How many years have we set trying to get one Bernard Jesus Sanders to move left on a number of issues? How many months have we fucking battered him and his followers around just to get them to say Julian Assange's name out loud, and it still hasn't fucking happened? If people are willing to line up to hand Bernard Jesus Sanders their money so we can take it and do nothing or get robbed, what do you think fucking cable news on the internet guy is going to do? Propaganda. Jamarl only got popular pointing out TYT's flaws. I don't know if that's the truth. Jamarl went and reached out to Richard Wolff, and he reached out to Cynthia McKinney, and he reached out to some very prominent figures who are outside of the political sphere, and he made a space for himself, not just talking about TYT, but about addressing issues that matter to everyday people. He has since gone away from that to a massive degree, and what he does is a political horse race show where he picks on Elizabeth Warren 15 times out of 20, and that's fucking it. Who did, Taylor? I don't see who he listed. All of his biggest threats, and the threat to free speech was not one of them. Who, Taylor? I don't. Anthony Reyes, Jamarl and Tim both make Nico look good. At least Nico makes sure to always talk about Assange. Sophia is doing it too. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, got it. Back when I went on Jamarl's show like a year or so ago, and it was like the only time that he had me on his show, we talked about much more than horse race politics. We talked about media censorship, social media censorship, how that works, because I got fired by Chris Hayes back in the day. And he wanted to hear about that. He wanted, he was like, "Oh, fucking yeah, let's let's poke at Chris Hayes. And fucking yeah, great, dude. That fucking 7 foot tall, Opie looking motherfucker deserves a jab or two. He really does." But Chris Hayes is emblematic of the system that stamps down on real progressive voices trying to make a difference. And look, man, Tim and Jamal aren't the only people that make their living, literal living, covering the horse race from a leftish perspective. There are tons of people that do that. There are people that wander outside of the mainstream to report things. Graham Elwood is a good example of that. His show is not just the political horse race. There are lots of things that I feel like Graham gets wrong or gets late, but he's still better than most. You know, I have a lot of love for Ron Placone. When you get him away from what his audience is trying to get him to cover, he does a fantastic job of talking outside of the narrative and not just covering the same shit that everybody else does. But the way that his show is set up is determined 100% on the audience. You know what, man? I have a lot of qualms with Nico's show being a campaign commercial for Tulsi Gabbard, but to give Nico credit, he does cover stuff other than Tulsi Gabbard. Don't even get me started on status quo. You know what, man? Look, I've wanted to like Jordan Sheridan. I still like Joe. I mean, as a person, Jordan's all right. You know, Jordan reminds me a lot of me when I was in my 20s and drunk all the time. The way that he handled his situation with the Young Turks reminded me a lot of how I handled my situation getting fired from the Nation, which was I sat up in a room for 3 months and drank myself stupid. What Jordan did different was launch his own news outlet. The problem that I have with Jordan's news outlet is that it's a fucking telethon with occasional reporting. And I can't sit through more than a couple of minutes of it because all I hear is, "We need your money, we need your money, we need your money, donate, donate, give now, give now." Fucking, it's so hard to sit through. I can't do it. Act Out with Eleanor Goldfield is the best show. She says what she wants and covers what she wants. Yeah, it's a good show. I got the impression that it wouldn't be a good idea for me to ask her onto this show, but I'm gonna go ahead and try anyway. If anyone's in direct contact with Eleanor Goldfield, please tell her that I want her on the show. Maybe if you guys do it, it'll come out better. I am a pretty fucking haggard looking regular standard white male. I don't know if I meet the criteria of what her show does. I don't know, but she's fucking badass, dude. And I've always been incredibly like complimentary and honest about what she does and what her show is, and I encourage people to go see her fucking stage show if they can. And by the way, if you have an opportunity to go see Eleanor perform live, do that shit. It's a multimedia experience. It's absolutely worthwhile. It's a good time. It seems the only way for media to not be propaganda is for it to be financially independent. That's correct. But what is financial independence? What does that look like? What does that look like in terms of the social media landscape? What it looks like is you guys putting up the money for us to do our job. That's a huge fucking ask of you. It's why I waited a really long time to start a Patreon page, because I didn't feel right about it. I still feel fucking weird about it. Every time I see that somebody's donated something to the Patreon, I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Really? My show? All right. Jordan exposed that New Jersey has lead in half the state. So we knew about that, though, Anthony. It didn't take Jordan Sheridan to do that. We had reporting out for fucking years after Flint that that corroborated or that fucking exposed that. I don't know who Jordan's new Beltway boy is. Jordan needs money in order to continue to be on the. You know what? He doesn't need 80 fucking grand every 2 months, D. He doesn't. He doesn't need 80 grand every fucking quarter or however he puts it. What he's doing. I don't know, dude. I don't know. I mean, I live in California. Milk is $6 a gallon. Gas is $4.50 a gallon. Fucking, the smokes are like $13 a pack in places. And I certainly need way less a month to get by on with my 3 children and my wife than Jordan does to do his show. You know who does it right? Jason Burmis fucking does it right. If you guys aren't watching Jason Burmis's show, if you're not familiar with who he is, get fucking hit, man, because that dude's solid. He's a solid cat. He's and he does, no Patreon, no super chat, no nothing like that. He just has a GoFundMe up. And it's up to his audience to determine what he gets and how he gets it. Cocaine's a hell of a drug. It is. I can attest. Man, I remember the 90s, dude. I grew up in Indiana. Allegedly, there was a lot of really good cocaine that came out of Chicago, and allegedly it came into large quantities into Bloomington, Indiana. And allegedly, we all got high off of it. Allegedly. All right, seeing some love for Jason Burmis in the chat. That's good, man. That's good. He's, like I said, he's a solid dude. He does good work. He's not influenced by anyone other than himself, how he feels about a certain topic. The last American Vagabond refused to answer my request to come onto my show, so fuck that guy. I don't have a problem with how he reports. I don't have a problem with what he reports. I think he does good work too, but he wouldn't talk to me, so fuck him. Maybe he will eventually. Roger Stone. Roger Stone, one of the most famous political rat fuckers in recent memory, was found guilty on all 7 charges of being a lying liar who fucks rats, full stop. Roger Stone put another fucking, miniature boxy cokehead hole in the Russiagate narrative by being found guilty of lying through his lying suckhole about everything always. If you watch Gordon Dimmick's show this morning, he pulled up a great article that said Roger Stone found guilty lying in WikiLeaks hacking case, which is just a fucking magnificent way of framing the propaganda around that. No, it's a slight because I've been him up more than 3 times, D. Twice it's a slight, 3 times it's fucking intentional. But I want to talk about Roger Stone for a second because we knew over 2 years ago that there was no Backchannel to WikiLeaks for Roger Stone. There was no, WikiLeaks themselves came out and released all of the fucking Twitter DMs that they had between, going between them. Randy Credico, a number of times, who, by the way, is another person that needs to be pressured into coming on the Free Assange vigil because there's it doesn't make sense that he won't. At any rate, we knew this whole time that Roger Stone was full of shit, lying, had nothing to do with WikiLeaks. WikiLeaks wouldn't have anything to do with him. Fucking and now it comes out that yes, we were right all along. Fuck, Randy Credico and Jimmy Dore were right all along. Randy Credico is 100% an opportunist. Anthony, absolutely. Dude, the guy's been an activist and a political mover and has run for mayor of New York like 4 or 5 times. And but there, yes, absolutely. But because he's an opportunist, does that make his work any less beneficial? Does that make his truth any less real? I don't know. Hard telling sometimes. It really is. Beause 1382. Watch that. I'm a big fan of Gordon Dimmick. Me too. Me too. I have joked multiple times that I would leave my wife for Gordon, and I'm not even gay. Credico has admitted on camera over and over that he's done cocaine with Roger Stone, that they were fucking buddies, if not buddies, then co-workers, at least on a number of different campaigns. So I don't, I mean, I don't know. Randy is targeted, can't even search his name and find anything. Yeah, because he's been shitting all over the narrative from a position of authority, in that he had the answers and was giving the answers out loud to anyone who would listen. That's how you become targeted. You become targeted by telling an uncomfortable truth. In Randy's case, the uncomfortable truth was Roger Stone doesn't know shit. He's a fucking liar, and I can prove it. You know what? Let's be absolutely real about this, Anthony, in terms of the Free Assange vigils. And at least one of my co-hosts is in here right now. This will be fun. We are taking a different track than Unity for Jay did. Unity for Jay, as the name implied, meant people from all over the political spectrum speaking in solidarity. I know Andrew hates that word, but it's what they were doing. On behalf of Julian Assange. What we're doing on Free Assange is holding these people accountable for their inaction. We are directly calling out politicians. We are directly calling out individuals in media who are doing, let's be honest, a really shitty job about this. And it's because we don't have time. Julian Assange doesn't have time. Free press doesn't get to wait until it's politically convenient for someone. Free press, the ability to do this show unimpeded without fear of being fucking deplatformed or incarcerated, that doesn't have time to wait until it's politically or monetarily convenient to discuss. By doing that, we have positioned ourselves unfairly, in my opinion, as antagonists. I don't feel like we're antagonists. I feel like we're the people outside of the wall holding up the fucking signs saying, you guys need to be paying attention to this because it's real and serious shit. That's how I feel about that. I understand that we're more confrontational than any Unity for Jay vigil ever was. But we're not Unity for Jay. We're Free Julian Assange. If you lost the video, hit refresh. Somebody tell Rob to hit refresh. Wow, people plummeted off of the live stream when I started. All I can say is hit refresh. I'm sorry. maybe I should go ahead and wrap it up here and try and come back in a little bit. Maybe. I don't know. Let me know if I'm back or not. Maybe if I tell YouTube I'm going to quit and then come back. Wow, yeah, there goes my audience. Thanks, YouTube. This is why I left the fucking smile for a picture thing up there of me all wide-eyed and flipping off the camera, because fuck YouTube. Seriously, I'm sick of this shit. I'm fucking tired of it. I'm definitely looking into both BitTubers, doing what I can on Minds, finding alternative platforms to take this show. It's been over a week since I crossed the YouTube threshold to have monetized content and super chats. They will not give me that option. What about going on fault lines? I have my internet speed is shit, Liam. I would love to go on fault lines. I would. I've had one interaction with Lee Stranahan, and it was nice. That's it. No, I would love to go on fault lines. I think that they have a fantastic platform in terms of what they get to talk about and who they get to talk about it with. I think that what Sputnik Radio has done with both Fault Lines and George Galloway's show are amazing steps in the right direction in terms of what we need for media. So yeah, I got, I got nothing bad to say about those guys. Kyle Lawrence, Rockfin. I am currently talking with Nico about getting on Rockfin. He has offered to reach out to some people in the organization and see if they can't waive my subscriber count and go ahead and put me on. I am very, very tentative about allowing Nico House to do me a favor, because I don't want to wind up in his pocket, and I don't want to wind up a subsidiary channel of the MCSC network. And if that's how it plays out, then I won't be doing it. If it doesn't play out that way, I will absolutely do it. Yeah, for whatever reason, Freethinker Graham isn't too big on getting back to me. I don't know. I was supposed to have him on for an interview like months ago, and it never happened. But yeah, I mean, that's where we're at with Rockfin. If I can get the waiver, if I can get on, that'd be great. So Joy, here's the problem about staying on YouTube. I don't have that. I don't get to make that say so. I don't get to decide whether or not I stay on YouTube. YouTube decides whether or not I stay on YouTube. YouTube just announced to all content creators that starting December 10th, any content that they deem not commercially viable will no longer be on their channel, their platform. Yeah, Twitch is good, just hard to get exposure unless I'm gonna stream video games. I can promise you, Anthony, I am not going to stream video games. For one, I suck at video games because I grew up right when personal gaming systems were coming into existence. I had one 16-bit Nintendo that I bought with my own money when I was a kid. Right about the time I started getting good at it, I found out that chicks were way more fun to hang out with than just me and video games. So I spent a lot more time with chicks and playing sports than I ever did in front of a video game console. And by the time that you know, I sat down in front of a video gaming console again, and it changed so much. So all 7 of us. Thank you, Liam. Thank you for that. Taylor, remember when we talked about streaming free Assange on a porn site? Yeah, I do. So look, here's the thing. If you go back to one of the very first Slow News Day episodes, it's titled Chicken People Make Bad Robots. It's a very long show. Streaming on Pornhub or uploading the shows to Pornhub was discussed. And it's because, as Taylor just put in the chat, it's like the one place that we wouldn't get censored. So you know, it's fun to joke about, but I'm not above it, y'all. I'm not above that shit. Fuck, come on, man. Fuck you think I am? D Live, is that DTube, Dave, or are you starting your own network again? If Reefer Revolution Live has their own fucking network, I'll join it. I will. If the next time that I'm down in the LA area, I would like nothing more than to hang out with Dave and Chella for a little bit. I think that would be fun. And by the way, if you guys aren't watching Dave and Chella's show, Reaver Revolution Live, you do that, man. They're on every Sunday, late afternoon, evening here, California time. They are incredibly informative, exhaustively informative. Good folks, really good folks. I'm glad I got to know them. I'm glad they've been on the show. Maybe it's time to do that again, especially going into a 2020 election here in California, where we should be having referendums all across the board on what to do with legal cannabis, and I have not been seeing that. Imagine making porn while discussing politics. That would be porn worth watching. Yeah, I agree. I do. So what? Hey, do you guys enjoy being on the interwebs? You loud ass broads. Love you. At any rate, I can't even hold it together. Sure, Freethinker, I'll put it in the chat. So Poikinen is a Finnish last name. I myself am not finished. I was adopted. I was an unwanted baby, or I was a baby that couldn't be raised by the people that made me. I have really no fucking idea what my genetic makeup is or what my last name would be. I don't know. I don't. I can tell you for fuck's sake, I'm not gonna do a 23andMe. God, did you guys see that shit?